There's been a second explosion at Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant. Following Saturday's blast at reactor number 1, now reactor number 3 has blown up. Tokyo Electric runs the power station. It says both explosions were hydrogen blasts in the casing of the plant and not inside the reactor. However, the power company says a meltdown of the plant is possible. As the government battles to contain the nuclear incident, the rest of Japan counts the cost from the quake and the tsunami that followed. Police are saying at least 10,000 people are dead. Prime Minister Naoto Kan called it Japan's worst crisis for 65 years.
In the 65 years after the end of World War II, this is the toughest and most difficult crisis for Japan in that period.
To help keep the economy stable, the Bank of Japan is injecting a record amount of money. It's providing $183 billion of liquidity after the disaster triggered a stock market slump. Bank Governor Masaki Shirakawa says the bank will ensure stability.
The Bank of Japan will do its best to ensure stability of the financial markets and supply adequate liquidity. Rest assured that the central bank and commercial banks will work together to provide enough cash.
There had been speculation the central bank would sell yen to weaken the currency. That would help manufacturers and exporters whose factories have been hard hit by the disaster. Bank of Japan policymakers are meeting right now. We have had a flood of announcements in the last 10 minutes or so. Let's get over to our reporter on the ground now, Mike Firn. Mike, what's the latest on this new explosion?
According to local radio reports, Mark, 11 people have been injured at the Fukushima plant. That includes TEPCO, Tokyo Electric workers at the plant, and also members of the self-defense force who've been drafted in to help fight the fires and to control the explosions and the overheating. This was the second explosion at the plant. There had been one at the number 1 reactor earlier. They also have problems with overheating in the number 2 and number 6 reactors. Now, we have headed a little bit further south from where we were before, which was 60 kilometers from the plant. We're now about 100 kilometers away. This is the main arterial road south, apart from the expressway, which we're not allowed onto, and there's a long stream of traffic heading towards Tokyo. I don't know if you could hear before, but flying overhead is a Chinook helicopter, an SDF helicopter, which is heading south with aid for people in the regions heading north in the regions that were hit hardest by the tsunami, the 7.3 tsunami that hit. Getting aid to them is proving very difficult. That's one reason why we're not allowed to drive on the expressway. That is reserved exclusively for self-defense forces, for the gas and electric companies, and also for the mobile phone companies who are trying to restore communication there. Phone links and computer links, very, very sporadic.
Mike, you were telling us earlier you were in a 7-Eleven store. The shelves were empty. Just talk us through how people are reacting in the area where you are.
People are very calm. They don't seem to be scared, but they are stocking up on essentials. In fact, they're stocking up on non-essentials because the 7-Eleven has been basically stripped of everything: clothing, dried food. The only things remaining are ice cream. It's very cold, it's around freezing, and alcohol. People not touching those. All the water's gone, all the fresh food, all the noodles, and the gas stations are also completely cleaned out of gas. They do have diesel, but not many people drive diesel vehicles here in Japan, and they say they have no idea when they can get extra supplies through here.